morning, welcome to 3 Minutes on Markets and Money. It's the Bitcoin edition this morning. After El Salvador announces yesterday they're now going to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. Now, what does that mean exactly? First of all, what a legal tender mean or a legal currency means is that I can now use that currency in its natural state. For instance, in the US right now, if I want to use Bitcoin to, say, purchase a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right, I've got to convert Bitcoin into dollars to then purchase Starbucks coffee because Starbucks doesn't accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. So it's not a legal tender in the US as of yet, so it has to be converted for use. The theory is now in El Salvador, you'll be able to use Bitcoin as legal tender. So you'll be able to purchase, transact, and conduct business in Bitcoin without converting it to the local currency. Now, here's the interesting situation here. Immediately after the announcement that El Salvador was going to accept Bitcoin as legal tender, Bitcoin dropped by about 20% yesterday. This is a chart of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and there's just a couple of points about this. Very sharp decline yesterday, pretty much wiped out the entirety of August's gain. So if you take a look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is back to where it was at the beginning of August, roughly. Ethereum also dropped sharply yesterday. Dogecoin, all of them took big hits yesterday on this announcement. A lot of this occurred because once the selling began, margin calls were triggered, which actually exacerbated the sells even more. Coinbase, the recently IPO'd exchange for cryptocurrencies, actually ran into problems executing the sales. They had problems. That all led to more panic in the markets yesterday. You saw this big decline. Now, 2 points about El Salvador accepting Bitcoin as legal tender. First of all, the bullish side is Cathie Wood and others that are very bullish on Bitcoin says, hey, this is a great first step. We've now got a country accepting Bitcoin as legal tender. The bearish side of that case, or the other argument is really, well, El Salvador is really not the country that you want representing Bitcoin. Again, one of the big concerns about Bitcoin remains illicit transactions, money laundering, etc. And El Salvador, of course, is not really the country that you want representing Bitcoin as a face of a legal tender. So again, there's kind of the 2 points of view on this. And of course, does this mean that now that El Salvador's done it, that we're going to see a lot of other countries do it? Well, maybe, and that's certainly a process that countries are moving towards anyway. The question ultimately becomes down to the effectiveness of Bitcoin as a legal tender. Now, could Bitcoin become a legal tender in the United States? The problem comes down to trade. If I'm in the U.S. manufacturing a product, good, or service, and I go to deliver that, and let's say I'm shipping something from Houston to Mexico City, and it'll be there in 12 hours. And in the midst of that 12 hours, the value of the currency that I'm getting paid for drops by 20%. That's my entire profit margin within whatever product, good, or service that I'm selling. So in order for Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency to become a legal tender in the US, it's going to need a couple of things. One, it's going to need stability in price so that transactions can be conducted. Second thing is it's going to need a lot of depth. The one value and the one reason the US dollar is so widely accepted as a reserve currency is because of the depth of the currency and the stability of the currency to create transactions and conduct transactions on a global basis. That's something that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general doesn't have, but this also leads up to the fact that yes, we are moving towards a digital currency ultimately in the US. It'll be something that's probably government issued at some point, either by the Treasury or the Federal Reserve. That'll be a process that eventually we come to because in the end, the US government wants to track currency. This is why every bill has a serial number on it. They want to know where it is, what's being conducted with it, how that money is being used. It's part of national security. It's part of economic analysis. It's got a lot of factors about the economy as a whole. This is why governments are really anti-counterfeiting because expansion of the money supply without control is not beneficial for economic growth. So again, we're going to move towards a digital currency eventually. Which currency that will be? Will it be something that's government issued or will it be Bitcoin? Who knows? But again, the 2 things we're going to have to get to is a deeper strata of cryptocurrency as well as stability in price. I'm Lance Roberts for 3 Minutes on Markets and Money. See you back here tomorrow.